بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. I will be inshallah uploading the updates notes that I just got. So in this updates note there is the steps that we went through, the historical context of Khilaf and its development. So this is part 2, in the Prophet's lifetime, the companion and ijtihad, disagreement and the Prophet's warning about that, or principal features of the ethics of disagreement, that the principal one that we were talking about, Then we talked about the first generation. After the death of the Prophet ﷺ, we gave those examples. 3 main ones: differences over the Prophet's burial, who should succeed the Prophet. We studied that. Payment of zakat, controversy, juristic issues, that we have mentioned between Umar and Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, and Umar and Ali, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhuma, and Zayd ibn Thabit radiallahu ta'ala anh, and so on. There Umar and Ali, Umar Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. So these are, to just remind you the main thing, and you can have back the reference to the book that we also have uploaded about the ethics of disagreement. Ibn Abbas debates with al-Khawarij, that we're going to be studying now. And before that, I was given to you like a glimpse on the difference that happened and the big fitna that happened at the time of the companion of the one Allah Ta'ala. So Uthman radiallahu ta'ala an, as we have said, he has a command, a command of one of in authority to not have anyone intervene in defending him or anything like that. And it was his certainty that he's going to die, as we have mentioned, and that was the glad tidings of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After the death of Uthman, these gangs, they took over the masjid of the Prophet. Now it is really, very hurtful, because the Khalifa, the third one, killed in Medina, the headquarters of Islam, the companion around, and these, criminals inside Medina. The wives of the Prophet ﷺ in Mecca, in Hajj. Then it is true chaos, and that's why people, the scholar rahimahullah ta'ala, said that's fitna. Allah, grant us the favor to not be among, to not be in it. So may Allah guide us to not, impure our tongues by talking ill about it. That's why many of the scholars, they don't want to talk about it. Not talk about it because there is something wrong and we want to hide it. No, because it is really difficult to understand it. Why is difficult? Because you cannot really plan how you're going to behave when there's facing a problem that the first time you will encounter. You don't know. Just to give you an example, the virus going on now, see people how they're reacting, So there's things that you cannot control. You cannot control. It's beyond your means, is beyond, subhanAllah. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, when commending the unity and abhorring and threaten whoever who will cause division, because in the unity there is safety, there's peace, there's stability, there is authority, and the authority of the way of Allah, authority of justice. And then you'll have the peace, and yet you have the social justice. In the time of chaos, when there is a division, there's no authority, there's no stability, therefore there is no peace, and you cannot establish justice. Wow. So when people, are everywhere and everyone has his opinion, and his opinion, must be, kind of enforced, not heard or implemented. These criminal gangs, at that time called them gangs, maybe the closest term in the Arabic we say hamajun ruha, as the Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha described them. But people are, very ignorant. Like you see, for example, today, which is we relate to our reality today. What is happening in India now? How can you explain such a thing? So are you going to blame it on ignorance or on fanaticism? Or so I'll put that for you to think. Things like so unjust happening, and no word you can hear it. Why is this all injustice in the world? When we're talking about human rights, when we're talking about this. So when you try to think and ponder even on things happening around us, it helps you to have an idea what happened at the time of company. To not blame anyone, to say, oh, the company, look what they did. So no, you should not say that, because if you were there, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, you might have been, following Abdullah ibn Saba, or being from those who are, against, and no one wants to be against Ali radiallahu ta'ala an, or against Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala an. It's a big fitna. So the reality, the circumstances, the environment, the way how it's happening, that's what really dictate the whole, orientation of the fitna. When we say fitna, which is mean the truth is hidden. That's what mean fitna. The truth is covered. No one knows the truth, and everyone is claiming or claiming that he has the truth. The companion, with the wisdom that they have, the piety that they had, they withdraw themselves to not increase the fitna. Some of them stayed in Medina, of course Ali and those with him, and other, they left the Medina to seek, other solution. And this is what the case of Talha wa Zubayr. Finding Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, they beg her to help, because she's the mother of the believer, and she only left because there's an ayah of the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah An-Nisa. لا يحب الله الجهر بالقول من السوء والخبث قال إلا no, the ayah. It's good just to show you the ayah in Surah An-Nisa. لا خير في كثير من نجواهم إلا من أمر بصدقة أو معروف أو إصلاح بين الناس. There is no good in their talk or their ways of consulting or talking, except in one who enjoy good, enjoy to give sadaqah, and will dedicate him or herself in making peace. And whoever who does such a thing, he will have the greatest reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the ayah. It's good for you, for your notes, to know the number of the ayah. And that was Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, that ayah who drove her to do the good, to go with Zubayr and Talha. So the ayah is here, ayah number 140. No good is there in much of their private conversation except for those who enjoy charity or that which is right or conciliation between people. And whoever does that, seeking means to approval of Allah, seeking pleasure of Allah, we are going to give him a great reward. We're going to give them a great reward. So this is the ayah as an evidence for Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha to go with the Talha wa Zubayr. طيب, in one of the battle, two battle happened. When Al-Qaqa ibn Amr went to meet with Talha wa Zubayr wa Aisha, Al-Qaqa ibn Amr was with Ali. Said, what are you talking? What are you doing? He said, we are seeking islah, we're seeking conciliation, we want to people seeking to make unity. He told them, does not happen like that. We have this criminal, this gang, this ignorant who are, causing all the fitna. Need now to calm down everything. Re-establish the authority. And then we'll take care of the justice. Wadah. They said, we are with you, Ya Qaqa. It was the messenger of the Ali. So, that night, the two army, they were in peace. That's it. It ended. Hearing about that, this Khawarij, who later on they become Khawarij, went against Ali radiallahu ta'ala an. They heard about the peace and everything went smooth. That is not in their agenda. So, in one of the narration, they went from the side of the army of Talha wa Zubayr, and they start to shoot and killing people in the night. So someone, subhanallah, started the fight from these gang criminals, and subhanallah, in the midst of fighting and killing, they didn't know who starts. So the fight started, and subhanallah, the chaos happened. But none of the party of the companions started it. That night, they came to a peaceful agreement because they didn't know what's going on. So when Al-Qaqa ibn Amr came to Talha wa Zubayr wa Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'in, they said, that's what we're seeking. What Ali is seeking, that's what we're seeking. So he said, that's it, this over, everything, of course, is over. But the people among them, these criminals that we're talking about, though they were, subhanAllah, from the beginning to the end, they were kind of stirring the whole fitna. And themselves who killed Ali, this main group, they killed Ali radiallahu ta'ala. Same group. I mean, if you want to study this, it's very hurtful, but you'll see things that subhanAllah, you know what it means, harshness and rigidity and extremism, you see it in the Khawarij. If you study, some of their saying about Ali, and the one who killed Ali, like he believed that he's one of the greatest shaheed. What he said, it's like, subhanAllah, he says, subhanAllah, these people, as the Prophet ﷺ said, exactly how he ﷺ described them. So that's the A. Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Muawiyah, he's member of the family of Uthman, Bani Umayyah. Muawiyah, he claimed the blood right of Uthman. Never Muawiyah asked for the Khilaf. That's very important. And they can, if we have it here. Can read some this is a book of Muhammad al-Sallabi about the conflict that happened between the companions. I don't know if I can. This is Al-Qaqa ibn Amr, the one that I have mentioned, his name, that he was the messenger to Aisha wa Talha wa Zubayr radiallahu ta'ala anhu. From Ali. There's a lot of saying of scholars and saying of Muawiyah himself. Just I wanted to share with you a hadith maybe later, and maybe in the beginning, I don't know here. But the most important to understand that Muawiyah never asked for the Khilaf, never asked for the position to be the Khalifa or to be the Amir of al-Mu'minin, never. And all the Sahaba, a complete and full consensus between them that Ali is the Khalif. That Ali is the Khalif. Wada. I don't know if it's here. So this is, every one of you need to know it. So where exactly happened the conflict? So what was the reason of the conflict? What was the reason of the difference? Khair, inshallah. I mean, there's many of a hadith, I can bring them if you need them, but this is the conclusion and the summary of this ahadith, and this saying reported is what I have said. Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala an, being member from of Uthman, family of Uthman, he's the one who was responsible, and he was the Amir on Asham. He was the Amir in Asham. And Amir of the Sham, he had the big army because they were like, kind of the border of the Islamic, state, at the, facing the Roman from the Byzantine from that side. So they have a strong army. And you have from the other side Egypt. So they were controlling that part. And you have in Medina Ali radiallahu ta'ala an, and in Mecca and so on. So now imagine how the news get to Asham about the killing, or how your Khalifa was killed. And your Khalifa is not any Khalifa, he's the third guided Khalifa. So the way the news get to Asham is, subhanallah, as you're hearing today, I mean, they giving you false news and you know that it's false, and everybody is believing it. So the way how it being amplified, and people, they were mourning in Asham, the maqtal, or the assassination of Uthman in a very hurtful way. One of the narrations saying that on the minbar, because the one who brought them the news, he brought the shirt of Uthman that he was wearing when he was killed. So they hang the shirt on the minbar. So it was like, a massive anger in Asham. Ali radiallahu ta'ala an, he's been given the pledge to be the Khalifa. The issue, bring to justice those who killed Uthman. Now, in these differences, we're going to have three ijtihad, summarized or brought to two ijtihad, and both ijtihad are based on justified, authentic, strong evidence, but difference of opinion. Now, if we apply what we have said in the ethic and what we had get from the companion of the one Allah Ta'ala alayhim, we said two things. The first thing, the freedom to disagree, right? You have the freedom to disagree because that's your free will and that's your opinion that you believe is right. The second, related to this, my freedom to disagree, I express it in the right way, seeking the right objective, which is seeking for the truth. If this was fulfilled and honored by all the parties in this conflict? Yes. We showed Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha evidence. What is the evidence of Muawiyah? The Muawiyah, I'll show you the evidence from the Quran in Surah Al-Isra. Claiming the blood right of Uthman, it was the right of Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He was not asking for the Khilafah, he was asking for the blood right to be fulfilled. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Muawiyah, he referred to this ayah, قال here, and do not kill the soul which Allah has forbidden except by right. And whoever is killed unjustly, we have given his heir, we have given to his family, his heir, authority. Look here, he said, and whoever is killed, we have given his heir the authority, his member of family, those who are inheritors from his member. We give them the authority. But let him not exceed limit in the manner of taking life. Indeed, he has been supported by Allah. Allah innahu kana mansura. So who's been supported by the law of Allah? The one who claiming the blood right of his own member of family, he was killed unjustly. It's very clear there. Yeah. Nor take life which Allah has made sacred except for just cause. And if anyone is slain wrongfully, we have given his heir authority to demand qisas. To demand qisas, to be, eye for eye, soul for soul. But let him not exceed bounds in the matter of taking life, for he is helped by the law of Allah. So this is the justification of Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala. He's strong, isn't it? Does Allah give him the authority? طيب, the ijtihad of Ali. Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he is the mujtahid. He is the wise, he is the, the one filled with knowledge. So Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, his issue is the timing, not the qasas. He's not refuting the qasas. He said we have to reestablish authority to execute the qasas. What we have said, authority means peace, means stability, means ability to establish justice. If there is no the authority, then you cannot have stability, that you cannot do justice. Now, Muawiyah coming to claim the blood right of Uthman, bring these people to justice. They're gonna be, executed in front of their, supporters. Their supporters, they're going to have a right against them because these people, they believe they were rightful in killing Uthman, and then you have another big war is not going to end. So Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu was right. You are the member of the family who claimed the blood, you're going to get it, but you have to wait. Wait till when? Till authority and stability is established. So the ijtihad of Ali was the strongest and the most, let's say, the strongest opinion and the most relevant, and let's say has all the element to lead to everyone objective, which is truth, which is stability, which is justice, which is unity. However, in every one position, he's seeking for the truth. So to seek for the truth, I have, as we said, the freedom to disagree, and I stand and I believe that's the truth. So you cannot stop me from having the truth to be established. Say, I'm going to stop you. No, you cannot stop me. If you not desist, I'm going to fight you. He said, yes, I'm able to fight you. But only for one purpose, to establish the truth. But it does not change the other truth that they believe in. It does not change their view that they had to each other, their respect that they have to each other, their, regarding one's bounty, regarding one's rank. Muawiyah, he always held Ali at a very high rank, of venerating the greatness of Ali, as he is the closest to the Prophet ﷺ, he is the knowledgeable. And we're going to see, that's why this introduction, to read to you some of the statement said to Muawiyah and how Muawiyah reacted, radiallahu ta'ala an, and so on. So this is, and then if you want to study it, you will see when after they fight, at the break, they go visit each other. They go, subhanallah, helping each other in medicating, in helping one with his, subhanallah, with his wounds. And they were like, subhanallah, outside of the fight, they were like brothers. When you start the fight, it becomes why? Because one objective. I believe that I am the truth. And this is, subhanallah, why people, they had a lot of ill talk and gossip and namima all about this, because no one is able to get at the level of the companion in their understanding and in their way how to maintain the balance in a very critical situation. How to maintain friendship and respecting the truth, submitting to Allah, and all of them together, you make them in the just way. If you have a dear friend that he's doing something wrong, you'll not be able, for example, someone in general will not be able to tell them you are wrong. Why? Because their friend, they don't want to hurt their feeling. No, if you're truly friend, you have to tell them you're wrong, even though you know that it's going to hurt their feeling. After, they will realize that you were a truthful friend. That's how they were, the companion of Allah Ta'ala. So this is in summary the what happened in the way of the analysis of the differences and what happened between them. Yeah? What happened between them, and we can read here that this ayah in the Quran already gave the way how the companion in time of difference like this and fitna, they should solve their problem. And many of the scholars, they're saying that it was Allah telling us that this is going to happen anyway. In Surah Al-Hujurat. Ayah 49. Surah 49, Ayah 9. And if two parties among the believer should fight, here fight, واضح clear, وإن طائفتان من المؤمنين اقتتلوا, which is mean the objective of fight is the truth, but the problem, the truth is hidden here. That's why the fight happened. Then make settlement between the two. So we have a third party who are going to arbitrate, and they know the truth. Like in this case, Al-Qa'qa' ibn Amr. In many cases, then the التحكيم between Amr ibn al-As and Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. Make settlement between the two. But if one of them oppresses the other, more oppression, like if one of them rebels against the other, then fight you all against the one that which rebels till it complies with the command of Allah. Now, if they stop, then if it is complies, then make reconciliation between them justly and be equitable. This is exactly what the companion they did. They follow the steps of this. So is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given the way how to solve problem between believers. So it is possible for the believers to fight. Yes, it happened. How can it happen? But Allah said it in the Quran here in the Surah Al-Hujurat. But the most important thing is to look at the ayah after it. Whatever happened, because it has a reason. What is the reason? Is to stand for the truth. I might be, a person stubborn and saying this is the truth. Get into fight and everything. But then when he realized or she realized she's wrong, that's how to react after that. That's the most important. That is to be humble and to submit to the truth after being justified to you. And that's here the ayah that is very important. 10. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. The believers are but brothers. So make islah, make reconciliation between your brother and fear Allah that you may receive mercy. That's the essence, that's the base of all the settlement or all the conflict. It will have to go back to this base. That's what the companion Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim did. Those who didn't comply with this ayah are indeed the Khawarij. طيب. أخرج أبو نعيم عن أبي صالح قال دخل ضرار ابن ضمرة الكناني على معاوية. ضرار, he visited Muawiyah, and Muawiyah at the time was Khalifa. Dirar was very close to Ali. Muawiyah said, can you describe for us Ali? So describe is like, not how does he look. Muawiyah knows Ali. It's like, tell us about, the great character of Ali. That's the meaning of it. فقال أولا تعفيني يا أمير المؤمنين, please, like in a way, don't have me to say it. I cannot do it. عفيني, like, spare me from it. قال لا أعفيك. No, I'm not gonna spare you. We want to hear. قال أما إذا لا بد فإنه والله بعيد المدى شديد القوى يقول فصلا ويحكم عدلا يتفجر العلم من جوانبه. So he said, if I have to say, he's a person who has a very, a visionary person, strong. When he speaks, right. And when he says with justice. You can feel that knowledge is gushing from all his sides. وَتَنْطِقُ الْحِكْمَ مِنْ نَوَاحِيهِ, and wisdom comes from all, part of him, رضي الله تعالى عنه. يستوحش من الدنيا وزهرتها, من الدنيا وزهرتها. يستوحش is like, he feel like not welcome, or he feel not loneliness. He feel, subhanallah, not fitted with this dunya and his adornment. ويستأنس بالليل وظلمته, he feel intimacy in the night and its darkness. كان والله غزير العبرة, he used to have heavy tears, and طويل الفكرة, and long time in pondering and contemplating. يقلب كفيه ويخاطب نفسه يعجبه من اللباس ما قصر. يخاطب كفيه, he used to talk to himself And يقلب كفه is like, turning his hands aside, is like, regretting and blaming himself on what he's doing as shortcoming. And you talk about Ali. And he liked the short of the clothes, which is mean at the time. He's so humble. قال ويحب من الطعام ما جشب, and he liked the harsh of the food. So he's zahid, renounced to the dunya TV, always not the dunya find the path to his heart. The worldly life found the path in his heart. He took himself to be in a very secured fortress of ibadah. قال كان والله كأحدنا, he used to be like one of us. يدنينا إذا أتيناه, get us so close to him when we come to him. ويجيبنا إذا سألناه, answer us when we ask him or we invite him. He'll hasten with the answer. وكان مع تقربه إلينا وقربه منا لا نكلمه هيبة له. And despite the fact that he's so close to us and he's like so humble with us, that we cannot talk to him because of the great respect we have to him. فإن تبسم فعن مثل اللؤلؤ المنظوم يعظم أهل الدين. When he smiles, it's like, see a pearling shining. So he used to love him too much. يعظم أهل الدين, he really glorify and respect the people of the deen, the scholar of the deen. ويحب المساكين, and love the poor ones. لا يطمع القوي في باطله, someone who's like kind of tyrant or someone who want to have power, he cannot find a way to think that Ali will help him in his oppression. ولا ييأس الضعيف من عدله, and never the weak one will give up from his justice. فأشهد بالله لقد رأيته في بعض مواقفه وقد أرخى الليل سدوله وغارت نجومه يميل في محرابه قابضا على لحيته. Said by Allah, I saw him, when everybody is sleeping and the stars are in the heart of the sky, he's in his place of prayer. يميل, like subhanallah, moving in his mihrab, holding on his beard and shaking, يتململ, and crying, the crying of someone in grief. And is like now, I can imagine him in front of me saying, Ya Rabbana, Ya Rabbana, keeping saying, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Rabb, Ya Rabb, يتضرع إليه. And then he said to the dunya, to the worldly life, إلي تعرضتي, to me you come to me, you are trying to delude me. هيهات هيهات, I mean, that's not possible. Go and delude someone else. I had divorced you with the 3 times. Ya dunya, or worldly life. فعمرك قصير, your life is very short. ومجلسك حقير, and to sitting with you is disgraced. وخطرك يسير, and your danger is insignificant. من قلة الزاد وبعد السفر. My issue, I have so little provision for the akhirah and a lonely, long path to get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he held his tears, and Muawiyah was crying and everyone around him. So this is a description of Ali in front of Muawiyah, who make the whole gathering to cry and longing for Ali radiallahu ta'ala. You don't find this of course, in the book of the Shia. طيب. You have any question? Just for clarification. He left because actually they told him, do not leave. But he left because the center from where all the fitna is coming is there. So he went there to establish, and Al-Kufa actually is Medina that started with Ali. So they didn't exist before. So that's an Islamic, town or city. And he, subhanallah, is like the center, because the problem you have from Sham, from Iraq, that land, from Persia, from Egypt. So he's closer to the center of where the problem's happening. So he went there to bring things down, to regain that authority, and that was one of his objectives. But he had a very strong advice from his son Al-Hassan to not go, and he listened to him, and then he answered him point by point. As I said, inshallah, maybe if we'll have time, we can revisit all this saying, inshallah ta'ala, to study. But I really, I don't know. I'm sure that they have it in Arabic, the book. If you, in English, the book Ali, his name Ali radiallahu ta'ala an, by the author Muhammad al-Sallabi. Sallabi, the one that, one of the reference of the books that we have for the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was one of those authors, and mashallah, he had did great job. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah in his work and reward him tremendously. The book in Arabic, they extracted from that book, from the book of Ali, they extracted this book, and they called it here. They call it حقيقة الخلاف بين الصحابة في معركة الجمل وصفين وقضية التحكيم. The truth about the disagreement between the companion in the battle of Al-Jamal and Siffin, and the story of the tahkim, which is the way of the arbitration that they have, between Ali and Muawiyah. And the arbitration went well, and the Khilafah was to Ali radiallahu ta'ala an, and they were waiting, given a time. And after that, during this truce, that's when Ali radiallahu ta'ala an was killed. Who succeeded Ali? Al-Hassan. And Al-Hassan willingly gave the Khilafah to Muawiyah to bring the whole Ummah together. That's the Prophet ﷺ, when he said, قال ابني ولدي هذا. He's going to have a great matter. He's going to bring the Ummah together. It's in hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. So Al-Hassan, he's the one who gave his, place of Khilafah to Muawiyah. Why? Because he knew that with Muawiyah, you bring the unity. And I think the best of the analysis in this particular incident is in the book of Ibn Khaldun, rahimahullah ta'ala. He has like a very aspect that he introduced in analyzing the reason of such great and very wise choice. And by studying the nature of the tribes of the Arabs, and what will be leading as, leading in their mind, what will be the main, let's say, ideology that you have to put in perspective, to implement, to bring people to unity. In the time of the companion, they have only one thing, the Quran. After the time of the companion, things change. Things change. So you have to take in consideration other things, which was, subhanallah, what we call, Ibn Khaldun, rahimahullah ta'ala, used to call, al-asaba. Al-asaba is like that unity based on tribes. It was in the hand of Muawiyah, not in the hand of Al-Hassan. So Al-Hassan, he gave it to him because, those with Al-Hassan, they have piety in their heart, and every other, who do not have piety, when they see a name from Quraysh, they submit and they follow. Yes. تفضل.
was himself killed, and there's a name that somebody
talking Al-Hassan or Al-Hussein? No, he's not related to Muawiyah, no. Oh, no, no, I mean, what happened to Al-Hassan, nothing have to do with the Muawiyah. They were like, as I said, they were companion, and the place of Al-Hassan or Al-Hussein, it was the highest in the heart of the companion. They are the grandchildren of the Prophet ﷺ. So the love of the family of the Prophet is obligation on every believer. Of course, those who believe among them. You cannot apply this obligation of love to Abu Lahab. That is not believer. So talking about the believer. So the family of the Prophet ﷺ, the closest to the Prophet ﷺ, of course his daughter and his grandchildren and Ali and Al-Abbas, the family of those are the closest to the Prophet ﷺ. So by obligation we have the love to Ahlul Bayt. So the respect that Muawiyah and every companion they have for Ahlul Bayt is greater than what we even think and what we believe we have for them. Because he's the one who gave it to him, so,
What do you think about the alliance with using Christians in the modern times?
That's a question, inshallah, after, in other conditions. It's not related to the class. Maybe it require another topic. The answer in Surah Al-Muntahina, inshallah. Any other question?
I was just going to add to that, come together.
No, we're going to study. We're going to study the Shia. We're going to study that the difference is how to lead to really division. When the those ethics are not honored and are not fulfilled, when everyone's opinion becomes the truth, then the division is going to happen. So here in this condition, they only fought because everyone believed he had the truth, strongly believed. It was very hurtful. Imagine in a situation one dear member of his family, imagine someone, his own father or thing was killed, and the person that they trust, he told them, don't worry, we're going to take care of it, but not now. He said, I can see them, they are here. Can you not just, take them and put them in a prison? Why you don't do that? He said, and the one I trust and I love, he said, tell me, have patience, we'll take care of it. He said, what patience? Imagine happened in the masjid. He say, have patience. He said, he's here, you can see him. Can you not say, no, don't talk to him. So, with anger, with believing that I have the truth, he said, are you have an alliance with them? Do you have something together? I'm going to do it myself. So the person I trust said, no, you cannot do it. You don't have the right to do it. He said, you don't want to do it, and you stop me to not do it, then I'm going to do it. Then that's the fight happened. This is almost what it happened. But everyone was truth in his heart and with his evidence. Yeah. But that's another subject. Any other question? طيب, we might go through this point, important, and then we take the Isha break and the break later. So after studying all this, what were the conclusion that we need to take beside the 2 points that we have mentioned? The companion Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim, in all the differences that we have mentioned, including the one that led to fight and led to the battle of the Ma'arakat al-Jamel wa Siffin. First, they used to avoid differences. That's first quality. as long as they find a way out. I'll give you an example, for example. You find a group, especially inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us and grant us the blessing and the life to witness Ramadan. Say Ameen. So as soon as Ramadan comes, of course, there's a conflict. When are you going to fast? So that conflict, it has a way out. It has a way out. It's not like this or this. This is, acceptable, and this one is permissible. Then they come to Taraweeh and say, we pray 20 rak'ah. No, 8 rak'ah. Tayyib, here, there's a way out or not? There's a way out. You can, do you want to pray 100 rak'ah? Say yes. Okay, pray 100 rak'ah at home. You can pray 100 rak'ah. You can pray 1,000 rak'ah if you want. Okay, say, we want 8, we want 20. One of our brother, Sheikh, he said, 8 or 20. So he said 20. He said, we make a vote. So everybody, the vote, it was 20 rak'ah. So I start, the beginning, and I say, Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And then Alif Lam Mim, Ulaik, stretching it, and he's living with the Quran. He's like making a slow tajweed. So after the 2 rak'ah, I said, Sheikh, are you going to pray the 20 rak'ah like this? He said, yes. He said, can you change it to 8, please? So there's always a way out. So this is the companion of the one Allah Ta'ala alayhim said 8 or, let's choose. If everybody you want to 8, and this is the benefit of the 8, this is the benefit of the 20, is an example, say 8, our problem is too long. You can sit. Oh, I can sit. Yes, you can sit. Okay, so we'll go to 8. So there's a way out. This cannot lead to division. If it leads to division, both parties, they have sickness in their heart. You see, there's ignorance, there's stubbornness, there's envy, there's a grudge hidden there. We just get it out when it comes to issue that it's not a problem. So this is the first thing that the companion Ridwanullahi Ta'ala alayhim, they had. They do not get into differences, things like that. As long as it came out, they say what you want, 20 or 8, whatever you choose. What is our objective? Is to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it. Are we going to finish the Quran? I would like to hear the whole Quran and, the Ramadan. Yes. So with 20 is going to finish. Yes. With 8 the same. So choose. Whatever you choose, we are with you. Sometimes people, the problem is they emphasize on details that are unrelated to the objective. What is our objective? Is to stand before Allah in devotion. So 8 or 20, it does not revoke or alter or change that standing before Allah. So should not be an issue to cause difference. The same, the moon sighting or the calculation should not be. If it causing division, so there's a problem in the heart of everybody. The second one, is the conflict happened because someone has a hadith of the Prophet, the other one didn't have. Someone, and which is actually we're going to study in the next part, part 3, the reason of the difference between why they have differences. We're going to study it inshallah ta'ala. If there's a conflict or differences in understanding a text, like the example that we gave about Salat al-Asr. The Prophet ﷺ said, all of you must pray Salat al-Asr in Bani Qurayza. Some of the companions at the time, when they heard the time of Asr, they prayed in the way to Bani Qurayza before even get to Bani Qurayza. The others said, we wait. So that's interpretation of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. So the interpretation does not lead to division. So when they know that this is interpretation, valid interpretation, so I accept your difference. I welcome your difference. I'm not obliged to implement it, but I welcome it. It's okay to be different. I mean, if we say we're going to tomorrow pray Fajr, we cannot say obligate everyone to have white qamis. He said someone who say white qamis, he said you should have white qamis because I have white qamis. That does not make sense, right? So wearing different, nobody even question it. The same when it comes, subhanallah, if your difference or your opinion you have is based on sound interpretation, I have to welcome it. And this is how we understand the rest of the school of thought that we're going to, inshallah, to talk about that. طيب, we'll stop here بإذن الله. We'll meet you after Salat al-Isha. We'll be here, inshallah, with the break at 8. Good? So enough time for it. Jazakumullah.